All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former Pirate pitcher, now with the Down East Bird Dogs, Danny Beal, joining us. DB, how you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas? How are we?
We're good. Where are you at right now?
Jersey, the middle of Jersey.
All right, I'll be there at the end of this month. Maybe we'll cross paths.
There you go. Nice.
Danny, I like talking to you because we talk about your baseball career, but also you are a giant sports fan. A lot of athletes I've found are athletes because they're good at it. They don't necessarily love sports in general as a whole, but you yourself are a fan, and you were able to go see your favorite big league team recently, right?
Yeah, we were playing in Brockton earlier this week, which is like 30 minutes outside of Boston, and I have been planning this for like what felt like 2 or 3 months when I saw the schedule and that we were playing a day game and that they were playing the Rays at Fenway at night. And I asked our pitching coach a couple weeks ago, I'm like, hey, just to make sure, like, I want to get this out there. Like, I'm going to that game. They don't really care what we do outside of the field and stuff. It's kind of just be where you're supposed to be kind of thing. And we got the chance to go. And actually, the our pitching coach trained one of their left-handed relievers, Justin Wilson, this past offseason. So he got us free tickets. We sat in the family and friends section, which was great seats. And we watched a great game. They won 4-3. We actually met the bench coach's brother-in-law as well. Got to talk to him, got cool experience, got to go to a bunch of cool bars, get a bunch of gear. So it was a really good time. It was the first time I texted you. I've been there since '09. So I was
Yeah.
8 years old. Now I'm 23 going on 24. So it was really cool.
Yeah, the pictures and videos you sent were awesome, and that it's all a lot of things commercialized these days. But looking at your videos and pictures, man, it did feel like you were almost back in time, seeing all the green and the monster and everything. Like, how was it being there in person? Did you kind of get the nostalgia feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, it sounds like cringy, and my girlfriend always makes fun of me for it. But like, I almost like walked in, and I almost like started to tear up because it's my like I love the Red Sox. Like, it's literally my favorite team. I've grown up watching them, and I was like, it's the first time I could actually comprehend like, okay, this is Fenway. These are the players. This is like who I've invested in and stuff. And it was cool to walk out there. It's like the grass looks like sponges. The wall is huge. I got to see Walker Buehler warm up really close and in person. Took a bunch of videos of that too. So it was an invaluable experience and something I'm going to remember for a long time. I wish my dad could have been there, which made it cooler, but
Yeah.
being able to go in general was very, very cool.
I get it. I've said it on the show, and it does sound corny, but like the most beautiful sight I think my eyes have ever seen is going to RFK Stadium back in the day, and it's like
Hmm.
a really dark concourse with light coming through where you walk in to go to your seats, and the first glimpse of the green grass and Redskins painting the
Crazy.
end zone, and it's like noon before a 1 o'clock game. The sun's hitting it perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry right now.
The sunset was perfect, and they're playing the Yankees this weekend, so he only missed it by a couple days. The Yankees
Yeah.
Red Sox game for me would have been very cool.
All right. Well, good stuff. Well, how about Danny? I talked to folks that saw your start last Tuesday and said you looked awesome. How about since then? How you been throwing?
Yeah, no, that Tuesday start was really good. I changed a couple things up, preparation wise and mentally going into it. I was a lot more clear, I think, and it went well. I mean, it was against a team that coming in was on like an 8 game winning streak. Like they're playing really well. I think you'll have to look up the record. They're like 24-4 or something crazy like that. They swept us last week, but no, it went really well. Finally threw up to the caliber I can and threw again Sunday and had a couple. Girlfriend was there, parents were there, Todd Howell was there, as a lot of you guys know him. But it went well again too. It was the first three hitters went double, single, homer to start the game, and I'm like, well, it can only go up from here. So went on, and I think I threw like 5 innings of 3 run ball, and it again felt really confident. And I'm actually starting again tonight, so hopefully I can keep the train going and keep the momentum in a good spot.
That homer was a rally killer. If that guy would have doubled, who knows what would have
We would have been
happened.
in trouble.
But that clears the bases, and then it's gravy from there. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
good work. Good work, DB. Danny Beal joining us today on Pirate Radio Live. Danny, man, we've seen obviously a lot of Pirates enter the transfer portal. I tend to focus more on the guys that are coming back because there is a nice core of players coming back for this East Carolina baseball team, including, of course, Ethan Norby, but Austin Irby, Barron behind the plate, Of course, Braden Burris, who was awesome. Jack Herring, Pirate outfielder. So there are a number of guys returning to this team, which it sucks to say it this way, but like I'm thankful we have such a good group of returners in today's age.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think a lot of the players that I've talked to and been around, and I know Coach G's thinking the same thing of like it was the same kind of thing as last year when it came to Bristol and Root. Like, if you don't want to be here, then leave. Like, we got a good enough group of leaders and guys that want to be here, and those are the guys we want to keep around, obviously. And like you said, not that anybody cares what I think, but I do think it's a little corny posting like the run it back stuff on social media. But it is cool to see them outwardly, like Coach G reposting it, the players buying into it and stuff, and being able to announce like, hey, like I want to be a Pirate, like I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere else. Like I remember Nick Moran saying that he's seeing like Bradley and all these other guys on social media and say, "Hey, I'm not going anywhere." And it's special because it knows that they care. Even in a down year where they had to win the conference tournament, they made some noise in Conway. Like they know that they have the talent and the ability and the staff around them to do so. So it'll be cool with obviously new faces on the coaching staff as well, but the core group of players that know the standard and know the culture will be there to set the new guys that come in next year and the year after and the year after. So.
I mentioned Conway, Coastal Carolina. By the time we air this interview, they'll be playing in their first game in Omaha against Arizona. But what's your take on Murray State? What's your take, Danny, on 8 new teams in Omaha that weren't there last year? Is that a good sign for college baseball?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I didn't even realize last year that it was split down the middle, 4 ACC, 4 SEC, and the fact that this year you got some like old Pac-12 teams mixed in, new faces. Like it's not just the Tennessees of the world that are there. It's cool. It's cool. It's especially in this age where it's like whoever buys the most expensive team normally gets there. It's very cool to see like the Murray States of the world. I mean, Coastal, but you like those kind of teams where it's not like the SEC powerhouses that always just go. But I think it makes for a good College World Series. I think the Arkansas LSU game tomorrow night is going to be great. I think people are sleeping on Coastal still. They still think it's like a little Sun Belt team, but they've won like 100 games in a row, it feels like. They went to Auburn and won. Like, they're a good club, and I think it'll be cool. National championship rematch, too, when they play Arizona in the first round. But great games. I've got a couple teammates that played at Louisville and Oregon State, and they've been following. They actually, I think I mentioned this, the guy that played at Louisville was on the team that beat us in 19.
Yeah.
So being able to like talk shop with him about it, and they've been paying attention, and we've had it on in the clubhouse a lot, being able to watch. So it's going to be really fun to watch. I'm excited. It's the best time of the year.
Danny, your guy Coach Mack brought up a good question this week, and interesting to talk to you as an athlete that's been through 2 of these things, and could potentially another one if the timing was right. But he said, what has kind of shaped your view of college athletics the most the last few years? NIL, portal, conference realignment. Those were the 3 options, and of course, you were in the NIL era. You had an opportunity if you wanted to enter the transfer portal. East Carolina, I guess, maybe saw some new teams coming into the conference, so maybe I could say you were affected by all 3 of those. But I don't know, maybe 2 different answers. As a fan, as a viewer, because you are a college sports fan, you watch college basketball, college baseball, college football. What has affected your viewing the most? Enjoyment, lack of enjoyment, maybe enjoying it more out of those 3 options?
I don't know. I mean, conference realignment's an interesting topic just because I think you're building these super conferences, which I don't. At the time, I was like, I'm a traditionalist, so I was like, I
Yeah.
want like the Pac-12. Like, I don't want UCLA playing Rutgers at noon on a Saturday. Like, that's just weird. But I think it's interesting just because it creates more competition. So I've kind of come around on conference realignment. It doesn't really bother me much anymore. The NIL aspect, I think, as a lot of former athletes and coaches will say now too, I really don't like the portal. I wish it was the way that it was when I was a freshman, where if you transfer, you have to sit out a year. But it's free agency without contracts, and it's not fair to the coaches and the teams and the guys that are paying. And I think I saw something the other day. I can't remember where it was, but it was like some SEC school is doing a thing where they pay you, but if you leave before you play a game, then the money's not like you don't get the money if you don't play in a game. So it's
Yeah.
like some sort of contractual obligation where you can't just go take somebody's money and then get out without filling the role that you needed to roll for getting paid. But NIL, I think it's good because of the fact that we actually finally get to get paid for our name being on stuff, our pictures being on stuff. It's a cool
Yeah.
experience for some of these guys, but the portal just, I don't know. I think it's not real life. And you've heard Coach Calvin say it a ton. It's not the way the real world works, where it's like, well, I'm not playing here, so I'm just going to leave. Well, I don't like this place anymore. So like, it's just not like you can't just do that with a job and just pick up really. Like it's just not the way it works. So it's not realistic, but it's the way it is.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. Danny Beal joining us on the in Studio C today via video up in New Jersey. When do you guys have another home game in Kinston, Danny?
We play the Tri-City Valley Cats Tuesday to Sunday next week. And then we are home July 4th weekend, which will be cool. We'll have a bunch of firework games and stuff like that. But we're home all next week. And if I had to guess, the timing of it would be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll probably throw in Wednesday or Thursday next week at home. So there's your update.
All right, there's your DB schedule update. Danny, I appreciate you joining us, man. Enjoyed the chat. We'll check in with you again when you come back around these parts.
Yep, sounds like a plan. Thanks for having me on, guys.